We are recording, but
Look at the back of my head, I'm good.
Alrighty, I call to order the meeting of the Recreation Advisory Committee of December 8th, 2022 at 4:04 p.m. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda? Moved by Councilor Van Passen, or Member Van Passen, seconded by Paul. All those in favor? And that carries. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest? Seeing none, can I have are there any errors or omissions in the previous meeting minutes of July 21st, 2022? That motion, Linda, thank you, second, Miss, all those in favor? Thank you, and that carries. Okay, so we have a verbal update from Julie.
thank you, everyone. So I just wanted to provide a brief update on the Recreation Advisory Committee. With a new term of council upon us, the Clerk's Department has been tasked with doing a committee governance review over the last several months. We've gone to council with some recommendations on how to realign some of our existing committees to best support Norfolk County. So to begin, we conducted a jurisdictional scan of other municipalities, what committees they have, how they work, and then we spoke to county staff and reviewed their feedback. So we provided council with a recommendation for a streamlined terms of reference that would be customized for each committee, but overall the same. A new appointments process and recommendations for each existing Norfolk County committee. So recommendations were provided to council last month, and the recommendations that we made regarding the Recreation Advisory Committee were that the Recreation Advisory Committee's mandate be expanded to include, but not limited to, recreation and parks, and be renamed the Recreation and Parks Committee. Sorry, Advisory Committee. That the amount of Recreation Advisory Committee meetings be reduced from monthly, and we're working on what that looks like, and that the composition of the Recreation Advisory Committee be realigned to better represent the geographic makeup of Norfolk County. So council approved those recommendations and asked that a draft terms of reference be created for review. We're currently working on that, and we're hoping to bring that to council in January. So once the terms of reference is approved, we're gonna advertise for members to apply to the new Recreation and Parks Committee. And at that point, I'm going to send everyone on the committee currently an email letting them know how to reapply to the committee if something you're interested in. In addition to that, there's a few committees right now that are currently doing recruitment. And so I just wanted to let you guys know if you wanted to go have a look at those, if you were looking to switch it up or add something to what you were doing, you can do that. And I can't think of them off the top of my head, but I think there's 4 or 5 that are currently recruiting. And then this one will be in the next stage of recruiting. So with that, I just want to thank everyone for your work during this term of council, and we hope we will see you on another committee or this committee again. 2022-2026 term of council.
We need to receive that.
You can receive it in the future, you probably should. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions?
So is it because you realigned, that's why it's not a 2-year?
Yeah, so most of our committees are supposed to be aligned with the term of council, and I think because of the things that happened with RAC and changing from the old committee to the new committee, it just didn't quite align. But all of our committees are ceasing at the end of the previous term of council and starting fresh because of the committee governance review.
You have some committees that are mandated by the province, the Heritage Committee, I think. Those ones tend to have the members that will roll over every year or over a quarter of them or every 2 years, some of them. But we want some continuity on those ones because they're permanent and regularly did that we have to have them. And the staff have done through a lot of committees. They have served their purpose 10 years ago, but we still have the committee, like the Alligator Tug Committee.
So some committees have
We eliminated it as a committee, but it still exists as a working group within that department. So it's not like it's going to disappear, but there's a different category for it, and there's less administrative paperwork and all that goes with it when it's no longer a committee of council.
And I'd suggest with your terms of reference that you would have like consistency as well with this, because this is a big thing within our community. It's a hot topic, right? Our recreation and being out in the community, and some people love it. Some people say we're falling very behind. You know, so having that kind of consistency as well, not having turnover every. I know it was interesting this year. I know it got pushed back. And
Yeah, so the new committee will be the 4 years with the.
It'd be a full 4 year.
Yeah.
Because the other one, I know it's more of a specific mandate with the hub.
That's what it
That
is.
was like 2 years too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That one was. So this one would be a full 4 year.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
And then we were recommending, I think we all agreed on bi-monthly meetings unless more needed.
Mhm. And then when were you applying? Were you starting from scratch again with everything from us that have already been a part of it?
What do you mean by
Like-
starting from scratch?
Like to reapply the whole process, you know what I mean? Instead of being like, we're here. Like, but do we start from, like when we were, because obviously it'll have new terms of reference and stuff, so it's just like starting fresh. Follow the same form of it.
Yeah.
So the same to change dates.
Yeah.
Yes.
What are you able to write on the application currently?
Yeah. Okay.
Can I make a suggestion?
Absolutely.
Could you just rename the Parks and Recreation Committee because it sounds better?
Okay, so we chose the recreation and parks so that we wouldn't be compared to the Parks and Recreation.
We lost the discussion.
Honestly, I think it would be much better to have Parks and Recreation.
It's alphabetical, isn't it?
A more serious question about it though. Parks going to become part of your mandate, management of some parks. So are we going to have some representation from the Parks Division?
Yeah, we don't have a firm answer on who it will be, but we're just, yes.
There's a little bit more background on that as well, that historically, you know, every subdivision, they allocated a certain percentage of land to the park. We have all these little tiny parks that we have to spend a lot of money maintaining, get very little use of. We're going through as part of our rationalization. I mean, look at this. If we got a little tiny park, little tiny park, little tiny park, but we sell two of them and expand on this one. Or get rid of all of them because we're gonna do subdivision, we'll put a big park there with a lot of amenities and it's all within walking distance and you know, some of those little parks, some of the building block. So that will be some of the comments from the public that will be.
You're probably going to kick a big hornet's nest.
Oh, yes.
All the animals around that.
And-
You're going to hear all about the green belt compared. Good luck with that.
Yeah, those areas are identified in the recreation master plan as well
Yeah.
as being important to the community, so. So it's all things that'll have to be.
Okay, any other questions or comments, guys?
So just a motion to receive.
All right, a motion to receive Julie's update as information. Madam Mover, Chris, seconder. Brian, all those in favor? And that carries.
Yeah, so the next item is the presentation of certificates. The mayor has created thank you certificates for everyone who served on the committee. And so I would ask if the chair can help me hand over. Not just go ahead.
All right.
Is the mayor an ex officio still with us?
She was hoping to make it today, actually, but she wasn't able to.
Hanson,
I get one too.
yeah, thank you for your participation. And thank you to Paul Anderson for your contribution, always having good insights. And thank you.
Yeah, I have lived here long.
Participation.
Yes. Participation.
Look at the other side.
Thank you.
So great.
I know who's in yours.
I don't understand why the kids don't.
And Jamie, thank you too so much for showing up.
For showing up.
All right, well, I think in terms of what we've done, we were kind of in a weird transition period from our fab. And one thing that we have done so well, and I'm so proud of everyone for, is there has been no squabbling. There has been peace. There has been respectful, productive conversation. And thank you all so much for that. And best of luck. And I guess we'll see who's around for the next term.
Good point.
All right.
No more putting on
If
that.
if I could, I'd like to thank our chair.
Yes.
Because you've done an excellent job. Maybe that's why everything was very on topic, because the chair took control of the meetings and did an excellent job looking after us. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, didn't do much.
You're good moral support.
Oh.
Always know I have you. All right, well, with that, I guess we can adjourn our meeting.
So, is there a spot for other bids? I got an email from somebody that they wanted to,
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah, there's some community.
has to deal with, well, mine as well, but, it comes from the department head, Dave Leatherman from, Delhi District Secondary School. And I said, hey, Ryan, please pass this concern along to Norfolk County Recreation Department and supervisors. As a physical education teacher and head of physical education and athletics at Delhi District Secondary School, I'm concerned with the availability of after-school ice time for our school hockey teams and students to access and use. I found that this year, when I attempted to book ice for high school hockey teams practices, that there was not much ice time available. It was explained to me that much of the programming that in the past was scheduled during the day has been moved to the 4 to 5 p.m. time slot. And I've learned through the grapevine that not all the programming in the 4 to 5 time slot has been attended very well. The result has been that our students have had a greatly decreased rate of accessing and using the arena. Coming out of the pandemic, it is very important to encourage the kids in our community to be active for the benefit of both their physical and mental health. Kids need to have safe, structured places to go after school where they can be active and busy. I'm hoping that in the future, Norfolk County will consider making the 4 to 5 time slot at the arena available for the high schools to use for the kids of our community once again. I'm not sure if this is also an issue with school ice availability for high schools in Simcoe, Waterford, or Langton, but I'm hoping the students / kids in all of our communities have access to this ice in the future. Dave Leatherland.
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
No, I mean, I say, had he sent that on to me, I would really appreciate.
he came at it today because I coach the Delhi. So it has been a real concern. We've actually had to let kids out of school early to be able to attend even a 3 to 4 to make something work. And it's not that all these kids are playing hockey already. We have about 6 kids that weren't able to play juvenile this year because of things that have happened. And this is their only ice that they get. They really look forward to it.
Yeah.
And I understand that, there's a joint use agreement, and I'm not speaking on the board's behalf, but I'm wondering, that to me is one of the big benefits of that joint use from the board side of things. I don't know what other facilities they kind of gain with that. I don't know what that agreement looks like or anything, but I'm sure, the other side, you guys get the gym use, and I don't know what, again, that looks like. But it has been a real struggle. Like these guys do play, especially a school like ours or whatever, that are feeders from, other schools that are all coming in. So we do, even by QUAS requirements, need to have practices together. And then I know we had a tournament, which was a great thing, like that, being able to use the ice during the day is fantastic. But even talking to Trinity, they actually had to do ice during the day. They had to use their high school, like the hockey courses, ice time to conduct their tryouts, which is like, people aren't usually happy when you're taking kids out for practices. And that's not ideal, right? Games are a different story, but practices are something different. We've made it work, but it is a struggle where in years past, it's been usually 1 or 2 days a week, and especially when we're sharing also with girls, and we've done a better job of using the morning as well. The girls have used the morning, we used the morning today. But it is, it'd be nice for that after school. I know, even talking to the arena guys, I know that figure skating one wasn't very well attended.
And I think that one got changed.
It did get changed. I loved that it was there. I was kind of hoping it stayed there because they kind of let us stay a little later if no one showed up. Right? But now I think it's youth sticks and pucks on that time at 3:30, so we can't even get 3 to 4 at that time. Like,
But that doesn't mean we can't change it.
yeah, well, we're under the understanding, again, I guess I should tell Dave to reach out to you because
Yes.
he's just reaching with the ice scheduler, who is probably limited and things, without that. So that's good to know. So I can take that to him and maybe reach out to you to work something out. Yeah, get on it. Awesome. That's great to hear. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the mountain biking as a parks related issue, as kind of a heads up for the future here. The Turkey Point Mountain Biking Club has 600 members, 300 of which are Norfolk County, 300 of which come tour out here. So I think the tourist benefit of having these outdoor facilities in our county is quite evident there. They come, they stay in Normandale, they stay at Eco Adventures, and they would stay further if we expanded our network. But we've had two big events in the fall. One, we had nearly 300 people for our fall river in late October. And then we had Global Fat Bike Day on Sunday, and we had about 100 people show up for that. That's supposed to be in the snow, but nature. So, yeah, but the point is that the Mountain Bike Club is a very, very large club. And we have 7 landowners that we negotiate with, including Norfolk County. And we have to compete with the hunting group who do the pheasant release at the old dump. And it shuts down a significant portion of the trails for 4 months during the pheasant hunt. So as a large group, you will be seeing in the future some asks from the mountain bikers trying to find a way to more equitably use that land. So there's some competing interests there. We've got good relations, I think, with the dirt bikers, and they've got their own area to play in that zone. And then, of course, they got the St. Williams Forest as well. And the horse riders have got South Delhi. They've also got some trails in that Turkey Point area as well, and out near me on the St. Williams tract. So we've got good relations there, but the hunting is really impactful on the mountain bikers. And then, of course, we could control a lot of people with our website and that, but you're going to have people come from Coburg or something, and then they're going to go ride where there's hunting going on, and nobody wants any incidents like that. So it's just something that trying to figure out.
There's signage that says there's
Is
something.
that the only parcel?
No, we've got
No, the only one that you're having trouble with pheasant hunting?
the pheasant hunt. We've got a section on the west side of Turkey Point Road as well. And I believe Adam is already talking about shutting that one down.
Yeah.
So,
I really made a note
Yeah.
about that, about that.
yeah, and then,
I have lots of wood lots where they, pheasants, that's just historically been one.
Yeah.
We didn't have a
Yeah.
bike club. Historically, we were doing that.
it's also grown up. It was
Yeah.
probably a pretty nice field for pheasant hunting at one time. Now it's pretty heavy forest.
Yeah, so probably easier to shift where they release pheasants than it is to shift where a bicycle trail goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the bike club has got, we're closing in, when everything's open, we've got about 92 kilometers of single track trails. And it's not just bikers, we have a running group there as well. And of course, anybody is welcome. They're all public trails. So there's lots of walkers, dog walkers, stuff like that. Even mushroom foragers walking around. So,
I've met with people over the last couple of years, but in the springtime, we have people coming from all across Canada. This is the first place that dries out.
yeah.
And they go up the bikes and they drive from Quebec and they come down here and ride the trails in March already because it's beautiful here already.
Yeah.
And they don't get that until April or May or June.
Yeah, we're riding skinnies when everybody else is still washing through slush on
Yeah.
flat bikes. Yeah, it's really good. Anyway, I just wanted to update you, and that's a key reason that I think parks are key to this committee.
Yeah, I think that was really good. Paul, I wanted to ask you if you have any update on the vandalism on the trails.
Yes, it ceased when we got really serious and we spent a few $100s in signage. And we said that we were going to start surveilling and we're planning on prosecuting. And I want to say the last report, I'm in charge of keeping track of those reports. I want to say the last one was mid-July that we got tagged.
Good news. That stuff.
It was not just Norfolk County that was getting attacked. It was, there were,
No pun intended.
there were road riders up near Aurelia getting attacks thrown on the sides of roads where bikes were, which very, very dangerous. It'll blow out a 90 PSI tire, it'll swerve in front of a dump truck here. It's gonna happen worse time. So, but even down in Kentucky last summer. So hopefully this dark web bad trend is gone.
Could you relate to Nikki, what we were talking about for the meeting about need for a liaison between parks, rec,
Yeah.
all that?
Well, we were
good, yeah.
briefly talking about the master plan and how it leans very heavily on our outdoor recreation
Sure does.
assets. So those are managed by a different division than you. And I think there should be a much stronger say in, from the recreation perspective, in the management of some of these lots. Because we have talked to people and said, hey, how many tourists come in because of the trails? And forestry doesn't care about tourists, so they have no interest or no stake in that.
Yeah.
So somehow we have to recognize the value of these assets. And the same thing when we were talking about the hub. For every outside person who comes into Norfolk County, for every dollar they spend, that can get circulated around the county 5 to 10 to 12 times. So that impact factor has a big literal impact on the economy in our county. So we bring in 300 people to mountain bike, even if they do it 3 times a year. That's pretty big, but we got to look at all of the other things that we can do with these trails, bush that we've got.
The passive recreation is something that we really need to start focusing a little bit more on. There's a lot more outdoor stuff that can be done. Hopefully it's something in the next few years. It's really start to
And
do some more.
it's also a team sport with all the county departments, right?
Yeah.
Like parking where you have access points on those
Yeah,
trails. Well, but that's the operations department, that's not the parks department, it's not the recs department, no, it's operations, because they're gonna widen out show the road or something.
Yeah.
And
It's that cohesion.
that sort of, they're all interconnected. But there's nobody whose job it is to
Make sure that
make that
happens.
connection happen.
Yeah.
Hopefully this committee will have a little bit of be the glue that kind of brings that together.
No, that's a good idea.
Okay, any other
Just
comments?
one last question, where is the ice allocation policy at?
It should be coming out hopefully before the end of the year to the user groups for a recirculation. So. Cool.
Great. With that, can I have a motion to adjourn if there's no other announcements?
Anyone?
Thank you. Second.
I'm gonna try and amend the motion. You must pass the cookie dish.
That's after adjournment.
Yeah, save that for after adjournment.
Well, then I'll second.
Oh, all those in favor? And that carries.
Thank you to Julie for.
Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Julie.
Okay, well,
I'm happy Julie gets out of here.
break it again.
I break it every day.